Hey guys, so about 3 weeks ago, I made a video about how irresponsible I thought it was for the movie Songbird to be based on the current pandemic. And especially all of my feelings about that were based on having only seen the trailer for it, which kind of played up the way that I felt that this might be a movie that would fuel the kind of fears that virus denying, vaccine hating Q people might, just thrive on. So I didn't have a very good opinion of it coming out right now, but I decided, you know what, the movie's out now, and I panned it before I saw it, so might as well go ahead and watch it. You know, see if it is everything that I feared that it would be. So this is my review, having had watched on video on demand the movie Songbird. So there's minor spoilers to my review. I will not talk about the main plot or the subplot um, that much. I don't want to spoil like the plot part of it, but I'm going to talk about some of the world that they're in. Um, it's the movie starts with a very crude transmission montage. You get like radio sounds, TV sounds, news anchor sounds, and you learn that they're dealing with COVID-23, which you know they say that each year another one pops up and they name it after that year. So this is now set what is at release date of the movie what would be 3 years in the future. So I didn't see a lot of futuristic things in the movie. There was a little bit of futuristic stuff, um, like UV sanitation boxes for mailboxes for the rich, where the postman would put their mail in a box, and then the box would light up blue UV light. And then they could, on the other side of the box, take the package out. Uh, we haven't gotten to there, but it's nowhere near as much of a letdown as the fact that we're beyond the year that that Back to the Future 3 went up to, and we don't have hoverboards like they had. We have a product called hoverboards, but they're kind of grounded compared to Back to the Future 3. That was a big letdown. You know, I still would have lived this long, but when I got to here, I thought that I'd be like the Jetsons having a flying car, and it ain't that. Anyways, in that transmission, I call it crude because it was crude storytelling. You learn a lot of the backstory really, really quick. Uh, in in just like little bits of like what you need to know. Bam, 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 bam. You learn COVID-23. There's Q zones in LA, and another one's popping up, and the virus has a 56% mortality rate, and there are immunity passes for people who have immunity in some sort of proven way. Um, so all of that, just bam, 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 you know, and it was very a crude backstory sequence. Um, but the actual like live action stuff, I didn't find as crude. It was good cinematography, uh, in my opinion. I saw a few Hollywood stars that I recognized. Um, in that respect, they did good. Um, I know that other critics have panned some of the acting, but I thought it was pretty good for what the movie is. there were military copters flying overhead, which is a kind of disparity between what we have in reality and that reality. And I started noticing, like, after the UV mailbox, I was like, I should probably just talk about, like, how this movie was written and produced and filmed and everything and released all in the same year as we're all in this lockdown. So at one point, they were just predicting what would happen months and years ahead, right? And some of it they were a bit off, like the military helicopters and all that. Um, there was a annoying Alex Jones like character in the opening credits, which I thought was, as a parody, but making it as real as possible. Like that part, I understood. Um, Another part of that backstory that came out really quick is in that world, 110 million people global had died from COVID 23 at that point, and 8.4 million Americans had died. So if we're comparing universes, this reality to that cinematic universe, hopefully we don't get there. And now that we have vaccines in our universe that have happened, in the same year, they finally started the rollout of those. I don't think that we're going to get there in that amount of time. Um, who knows? But I'm a little bit more hopeful than that. Um, there was also a cell phone doing a temperature test, which was mandated, right? Like uh, every day, people had to check themselves to see if they had the virus, and it was just with its camera doing like a temperature check and respiration and all that, and everyone had to check themselves every day, and it was mandatory, and that's one little part that would probably scare the preppers in the QAnon forum a little bit, you know. Uh, those anti-vaxxer virus denier people are probably would probably look at that and go like, "You can't make that mandatory. That's an intrusion on our civil liberties." And I was like, well, they were making a guess. I actually have an app on my phone called Colorado COVID Notifications, and it was rolled out to me as not mandatory. I didn't have to, be a part of it. But if I were to get COVID, I could put on that app that I got it, and then everybody else who had been anywhere near my phone with their phone would get a notification that they might have come in contact with me. So that's what we have in our reality, right? And mine has not said that I've been anywhere near anyone because I'm in my little bubble. Welcome to my living room. You know? Um, in it, there were concierge courier services. And this was not too far off because we have, the DoorDash, the Uber Eats, the Grubhub, and all that. But also, we have now concierge services for just getting snacks from 7-Eleven. A bunch of fast food restaurants are making their own delivery services. And Amazon is pretty much same day if you have Prime for most anything that you would want that's normal, you know. And it's pretty quick anyway. I shopped almost my entire Christmas shopping on Amazon. I have a lot of Amazon boxes to break down now. Um, in their universe, they were of the mindset that COVID sticks to everything, and so if you were to walk into a house after going out, you would want to have taken off your clothes and burned them and like done like a really good scrub. Whereas, that's not held up in reality so much. In the first part of this pandemic, in my house, we would take the mail and leave it out on the back porch. We have a covered porch, but there's windows that, during the summertime, the light coming in there heats up that room really good. And so we were leaving our mail for like a couple days out on the on the back porch in the heat, and then we would open it because nothing really has been important enough to get me to just take something straight from the mailbox. But yeah, as far as like wiping down groceries and stuff like that, you know, I'm trying to make it to that vaccine. I'm not trying to be one of those people that gets the Rona right before getting the vaccine. I have known people that already have the vaccine, and right before it, they got the Rona. One of my friends who is a nurse, that happened. And so, yeah, I don't want that to be me. I want to get that vaccine and not have had the Rona. So I will be still wiping down my groceries until that day, and then probably even after, as a habit, you know. Ordering fast food, sometimes, you dump the fast food onto a plate, and then you throw away the wrappers really quick and then wash your hands, because then, like, it's just the food and not, like, the wrappers that might have been touched. I mean, we live in strange times. What I think they got really accurate, and I give them points for this one, was without spoiling the plot, family arguments about going outside and what is worth going outside your house. I know that is straight up, that is legit. Not just in my household, but others that I've talked to. That is a reality, and I'm glad that they put that as part of the plot. So yeah, there's a difference between our reality and theirs in that the virus mutates every year and becomes more deadly, and that has not happened yet. I mean, it's, almost the end of 2020, and we're still calling it COVID-19, not COVID-20. I've heard that it jumped to minks in some other country, and so they had to kill all the minks. And I heard that there are different strains of the virus in different parts of the country, but I haven't heard anything as bad as what was in this cinematic universe with it. So, also, immunity is known to be hereditary in the movie. They've already figured that part out about some people just being naturally immune, and they call those people munies, which is not a word that we have. It's not a slang word in our reality, but they use it freely, the munies. So I would give it at least 3 out of 5 stars. It has all of the Hollywood polish that I would expect out of a movie that was made during the pandemic. Good enough for me. Addressing some, timely situations, and it was not nearly as friendly to right-wing Q-tards as I thought it would be. I will say that as far as the bad moments, there was a rush with details in that first opening montage, and then during the credit scene that followed. I mean, if you're listening like me, you're picking up all these details, like, okay, this is how the universe works. But like, if you were, just settling down with your popcorn and your Coke, you might miss some of that stuff, and it might make the movie not as good. So that rush of transmissions, like just leaking information about that world, I didn't like it. Also, there was a Deus Ex Machina moment. For those of you who don't understand what I mean by that, it's when the protagonist has a very fortuitous run-in with someone or something that helps them out and is not explained. It just comes out of nowhere. And for this particular example of this in the movie, it was a person who showed up, fought the bad guys with the protagonist, and then was done in that scene. Like, I don't know if this person won a contest to be in the movie and was only there for one scene, but it was a pretty important scene in that it helped the protagonist along in the story. So he just came out of nowhere, and saved the day. And that's what I mean by Deus Ex Machina, hand of God storytelling. It's crude, sloppy, and don't like it. What happened to that guy? We don't know. He stayed behind to fight the fight. And maybe people are gonna rip this movie apart because it had some controversy to it. I would say I've seen examples of technology where, say, if a drone were to shoot something, the drone itself would move back because of physics. So if a drone's launching anything, that there's every action has its equal and opposite reaction. And especially with drones trying to keep stable in one spot. So when something's getting launched or shot, you expect to see some recoil and stabilization of that drone, not just instinct. And that's just me picking apart little details, but I'm sure, people are going to be looking at this for even bigger ones because, it's got its controversy. But I would say it's a fun watch, and I was not wanting to put Misty through it because I thought it might be too much anxiety for her as far as movies go, given that it's about our current situation. But I would let a 12-year-old watch this movie. Like, seriously. PG-13, I would give it. It is fine for everyone. It's not going to give you too much of an anxiety, even though we're all in the shit right now. But that's my review of the movie. Don't want to make this too long because I'm already almost 20 minutes, and it's only a hour and a half movie, so 2-hour movie. So why make the review as long as the movie? So I'll cut it off here. Watch it at your leisure. Right now we're in the video on demand cycle of where it costs the most, and I would expect this one to pop up on one of the other movie sites soon enough for you to still be able to enjoy it. Maybe wait till it comes on Netflix, but if you're wanting to support the arts, as much as you support your local taco stand, that you don't want that to go away. Maybe think about supporting things when they're in that moment, and trying to give us some semblance of normalcy by keeping content coming. Maybe. Talk to you guys later.